Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another podcast on the Longside channel. First things first, thank you all so much for the love and support. I think it's been about over a week since our last one. It's been quite hectic in my personal life. As you guys know, this is like a side thing of mine. So if you are not aware of my main channel, Vizza, which is my main YouTube, I do football investigations and video essays in the world of football, and also some little bits on Burnley from time to time. Then feel free and also subscribe to me over there, wherever you're listening on YouTube. Please feel free and drop a like and subscribe too. And if you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, give it a follow. You guys have been really supportive of the podcast. And I believe on Spotify, I think we have 100 minimum followers over there, which is great. I know that my voice may not be the most radio, but I try, honestly. But of course, I'm not too alone. We've got the boy himself, Sam from the Clarets Roundup, who is I don't want to say a regular because I like to get a variety of people on, but I like your company. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm not bad, mate. I'm not bad. Are you?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. It's another 3 points, another 3 goals. It's quite a recurring theme with Burnley in the last couple of days. I was going to say a big 3-0 win, but that's, I think, I want to say the 9th 3-0 win we've had this year. By that exact scoreline, it's very common by the Clarets this year. When you went into the game on Saturday against Wigan, did you have any concerns?
A little bit after the Blackpool game. Obviously, we went into the Blackpool game very confident, but they are the worst side in the division by a fair mile, like at the moment. So not necessarily, but just a couple of reservations because of how the Blackpool game panned out. So, but no, great result, good performance again. Everybody got ticking straight away, and we just looked a million miles ahead of them. So, good 3 points, good 3-0 win, brilliant again.
About as routine as you can get, really, when it comes to going to a game that you just expect to win, get a 3 points. And there was a few shakes, and I do want to give a big shout out here to the big man himself, Our Muric. Throughout several points this year, he's had a few fingers pointed towards his direction. But Saturday, he had quite a lot to say for himself with 2 big saves, like really big. I would like to think that even if they went in, let's say at least 1, we would still come back and win the game 3-1 anyway. You'd like to think, but moments like that gives us a nice reminder that he's not just pretty on his feet, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, one of the main things that's obviously been talked about with him is obviously like the commanding of his box. And obviously then, like I've said before on previous podcasts, a lot of people look back on situations where he's not been amazing in the past. Like obviously his Nottingham Forest days, people still look back on those and don't think, and still think he's the same Muric.
I saw he played like 4 times for Forest.
I was going to say, the only thing that I remember, like one of the main ones, he played somewhere. I can't remember the exact.
It was against West Brom at home. I know which game you're on about.
Yeah,
he made like a big mistake.
He didn't do very well, but then again, he went over to the Netherlands as well. And I remember a lot of Dutch fans when we signed him were like, "Oh, he's going to be terrible. He's so poor." I can't remember who. I think it was like Willem or a team like that. But this season he's really come into his own. I think he's 23-year-old goalkeeper now. I think he's got bags of potential as a goalkeeper. I think the shot stopping's got better over the season. His decision making's got better over the season, and his amazing ability with his feet. I mean, it's embarrassing. We've got a goalkeeper that plays like a central midfielder. It's disgraceful.
And at times he plays in that position on the pitch too, which is even more interesting to see. And there's some good stats as well coming out of the game against Wigan. Of course, you expected to win, but the way that we did it again was just domination at the highest order. 79% possession. I think that is our highest or maybe joint highest possession for an entire game or year. Alongside that, 27 shots all game. Again, I think that is that most shots we've had all game in a 90-minute game as well. And most passes, 701 passes, which I know it's an entirely different team, entirely different system, but I think I looked back on our Premier League years. So I looked back in the 17-18 year, which we came in 7th, right? It was a good team. And I think the most passes made back then was like 380. there's something. So like we've almost doubled the most passes we had, which I know it's different system, different league, worse league. I get it, right? But it's just, we can enjoy that just because we lived through that experiences of being a more direct long ball team and seeing a completely different club in front of our very own eyes. And also one final thing, which I really found quite interesting, is Connor Roberts. WhoScored.com put out a tweet saying that Connor Roberts made 56 successful passes in the final third, which is mad. 56 in passes for, usually most players get like 10, 15, maybe even 20s, low 20s. He's got 56 in the final third. Like, it's nuts, and I love Roberts. He's quite a little shit house on Twitter with a quote tweet with I think it's on Pointless, with the meme of the woman just saying, pass, 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 pass. And like, I love it. So make sure to go and follow Connor Roberts on Twitter. I'm sure that he'll appreciate that. To go and just keep up to date with his memes. It's quite great. But as dominant as you can get, let's look at some players as well from the game against Wigan. Nathan Teller, a brace for him. Another 2 goals. He seems to be in the right place at the right time. He's like 5'8", but got 2 headers. Are you surprised to see how well he's done in our system this year? Like, did you expect this when we signed him at the start of the year?
I'm going to be completely honest here. No, I'm not surprised at the level that we've got from him. I'm surprised at the attacking prowess that he has. Like, I expected somebody who was going to be right up in your face. He's a very, very quick player, very quick. But I think one of the things that goes most under, obviously he scores goals. And his ability in front of goal is something that even I am surprised about. But the thing that doesn't get talked about in our system that is absolutely ridiculous from him is how fast he gets in a centre-half space. How quickly, like 1 minute he's at the halfway line, the next minute, bang, he's there. And a defender has a split second to make a reacting tackle. And he proved that twice, gets in behind, breaks the lines, uses his pace. They get a red card 28 minutes into the game. Game's already done after the 28th minute, because there's no way a 10-man Wigan can beat us how well we're playing this season. That's not even arrogance. That's literally, there's been teams, 11 men, that could have put another 11 men against us and they still wouldn't have beat us. So 10 men bottom of the table, there's no way they're going to beat us. So Nathan Teller deserves all the credit this season, all the accolades. He's been absolutely unreal, and I hope he stays. I hope he signs.
Yeah, that's the question on everyone's lips right now. Sign the thing, sign the contract, sign the deal. I mean, if you're Nathan Teller right now, I mean, why would you want to go back to Southampton right now?
He loves Burnley. I'm telling you now, right? He goes to bed and wishes that he was playing for us.
He sleeps in Burnley FC bed sheets and duvet and pillow covers and everything.
He absolutely loves us. He's got Bertie B like plush teddies all around his bedroom. He's got Bella B. He's got everything. He loves it. He loves it.
Wakes up every morning to times like these by Foo Fighters. Yeah, he's got that in his daily little routine.
You just read it now, don't you?
Oh, out of, not on the right topic, but I do kind of miss times like these being on the before the game, pre-game on the little telecom thing. I do miss that. That's not there anymore that much, is it?
Me and Dad put it on the way over anyway, so it's fine. I get my fix, so I'm all right.
Yeah, I do that for each like big game for Burnley. So like early this season, Bastards at home. I think I planted that on a repeat for like the first hour of my day, and I was shouting, getting ready, just gets you right in the mood. Back to the football. One big moment in a game against Wigan, the boy himself, Lyle Foster, got his first goal in Burnley colours. You can see what it meant to him, the way that he celebrated. He's a very religious man as well, and he holds it very true to himself. And I love that by him. I love to see his passion. You could see how much it meant to him that in the celebration. And I think I screamed when he scored, because I feel like that could be so important to just give him that confidence, let some people just kind of get that monkey off his back almost. It's like, let him be free so his shoulders that hasn't got that weight on himself, because people have asked some questions, seeing him against the likes of Fleetwood and Ipswich in the Cup. People with reason, because there are times that maybe his first touch isn't as good as what we want it to be in our system. we've seen the likes of Barnes, who we know is not that good of a player beforehand, and now he's turned really good with time, of course. But we're comparing him to Barnes, right? And you think, oh, if Barnes can do it, then you should do it, right? So I think he's had that kind of planted on him. But what do you think about Lyle Foster and his performance, and kind of what he can do to learn from Wigan and kick on?
Getting that all important first goal, especially for a striker, is huge. Like, it's for every other position on the pitch, you've got different things that you could be quite good at. Obviously, we've got Jay, who, for me, I would say is arguably better for his ability to take the ball down and spray it left and right, rather than the 9-10 goals that he's got this season. With Lyle Foster, his ability isn't there with that. His ability is, he's good hold up back to goal, but his first touch isn't there totally. He's not the kind of striker who's going to take the ball and carry the ball. But getting that first goal is huge, and if he can kick on and continue scoring goals, it'll be absolutely insane. And I was absolutely chuffed to bits for him. Like you say, his celebration showed just how much it meant to him getting that goal. Rightfully deserved it, because he has had his critics, me being one of them. I like I've said before, with regards to players we've had in the past, we've had players like Danny Ings, who you almost couldn't fault because of the things that he could do off the ball. Then when you look back on players like Andre Gray, yes, he scored goals, but when you rank him in order with all the strikers we had over that period, like Charlie Austin, for me, Andre Gray ranks at the bottom because of things like he couldn't affect the game himself. Lyle Foster, for me, obviously it's too early to even start categorizing him into that kind of level. But like you say, absolutely chuffed to bits for him. And that goal, I mean, it's not an easy take at all. That's some finish, that goal. Really, really good. So yeah, chuffed to bits for him.
And his weak foot too as well. It really smashed it across body.
Brilliant.
You also spoke with me before the podcast, before we went live, speaking about Michael Obafemi as well. Coming on off bench with 2 goals and an assist as well. Gets an assist against Wigan for that Lyle Foster goal. Where can you, I mean, he's on loan technically, but we kind of all know that he's signing on us permanently. I'm pretty sure that because when they put out the deal, they said basically like the deal would be eventually as a permanent, or it's as good as permanent, which I think means that it's a clause in the loan deal that if we get promoted, then you'll sign on full time for X amount of money. I think it's 3-4 mil or something, right? So he'll be with us next year. How can you see Obafemi? Because he seems to be coming on as like a wide player, which I don't, that's not his main role. So makes you think, where can you see him being put in our system? Is he just going to be a bench player, or what do you think?
I mean, for me, I'd like to say, obviously that bench role fits him quite well now. Obviously, when we get promoted, it's one of those situations where you talk about, does he start? Is he good enough to be the main man, or are we going to dip into that market and look for somebody like a Girakesh type player, someone who you can literally see leading the line week in, week out, and Obafemi comes on for him? But for me, so impressed with Michael Obafemi, so impressed that, this whole transfer situation of him obviously not getting the move in the summer and stuff like that, I still feel like Swansea are the losers in the situation, because they could have got 7-8 million quid for him in the summer, and now they're going to get a lesser fee. Obviously now, he's still in the division that they're in, performing how he's performing, how, they could sit there and say, he could have performed like this for us for 3-4 months, but he didn't, because he, dug his heels in. Whatever. He's, attitude problems, get a grip. He just didn't want to play for your small tin pot club anymore. He wanted to play for Burnley. That's what he wanted to do. Like, I don't like to bash other teams, but that situation was clearly a player seeing a better project in a much healthier position, with better players around him, with better prospects, and being told, oh, no, you can't stay there. You've got to stay with us. And I'd be fuming at that as well. So, yeah, brilliant player. Thank you very much, Swansea.
I guess to play devil's advocate with that is that I guess people say that, well, if he's that type of person to do that, then could he do that to us eventually? That's what some people say, which, we had that same kind of debate with Tarky, because he did similar things, was at Brentford, and I'm pretty sure that he refused to train with them, I believe, or refused to, along the lines of that. And then he came to us. Of course, how it ended with Tarky was very much different, that we all kind of knew about 18 months prior that, look, I think, he was always going to go on a contract. I think we had an offer by West Ham for, I want to say 30 mil, 35 mil. I need to double check, but I think it was West Ham that offered like 30 mil for Tarky. We said no, because him being a team to hopefully keep us up would be worth more than potentially that 30, because, it's harder to replace back then for us.
But so that's that club's decision for me. Like when it happened with us, with Tarks, like for us, it was a case of, it's impossible to replace him, really. Like it really was. He of the two, Ben Mee was an unbelievable leader, but James Tarkowski was easily one of the best centre backs we've ever had at the club. He was incredible. His ability to block the ball, it was laser beaming top bins, and some part of his body just hits the ball and it just deflects out for a corner. He was incredible. In this situation, obviously, you can eat humble pie if he turns around and does it to us, and you'd say, all right, fair enough, but it's not, it's not exactly, I'm not going to lose sleep over being wrong about Michael Obafemi, not in 2-3 years' time.
How dare you?
No, but what I mean is, like, because we're a substantial football club who, if we are in the Premier League, have the ability to say, okay, your attitude stinks, get yourself to a different club and we'll bring in somebody else. That's how football, in a way, kind of worked. In the situation with Michael Obafemi, it came across very much like attitude problems, this and that and this. And I just think to myself, like, it's really not that big of a deal. Like, he'd played there for like how many years? 2 years. He just wanted to move on. And we were a great fit for him at the time. And he didn't get the move. And then 6 months later, or 3-4 months later, he just says, I still really want to play for Burnley. And he gets his move. And he's playing how people expected. Brilliantly.
Yeah.
Good player.
I mean, we are a very, very appealing football club, and potential investors as well, very appealing, and we will get into that very soon. However, you are on the topic of centre backs. Got Calamir, who's a Coventry City fan, saying, I love the name here. McNaldini. So Luke McNally over at Cov, doing very good for them over there. Coventry fans are really big fans of him, and it's crazy to think that, because he's like our 5th or 6th choice centre back, right? And our 5th or 6th choice is playing for a upper mid-table championship side, and they think that he's Maldini. Like, his nickname for them, as given here by a Cov fan, is literally McNaldini. It's incredible, right? So to see us go from the situation of losing Nathan Collins, Ben Mee, James Tarkowski, and us missing those 3 players, and then ending up in a situation that we are now, that we've got 5 different choices that are all pretty good or immense at our level, is just incredible recruitment to say the very least. And to you, Callum, if we can sort out some sort of deal that we can give you Luke McNally, sure, happily. Play us up, bro. Give us a Gyökeres, pal. And we can sort out a deal.
Please.
We give you McNally and a Kit Kat. Chunky, okay, I go all out for you, and you can give us Gyökeres, and it'd be a happy deal both ways, my friend. Saif also mentions about one of the main topics of this pod, news coming out yesterday, and we might as well go into it now as we've recapped the Wigan game, about the club statement, which were not published online on social media, which I think was done on purpose, because the way that I see it, it's kind of a nothing. It's kind of like a non-story, really. Yeah. It's I presume that most of you who are listening are already very, very well aware of it, may not know the exact details, so we'll go through it here just quickly. So Burnley put out a club statement on the official website, stating that we have been placed under a transfer embargo by the EFL, and they were transparent in giving the reasons of this. And usually when you hear the word transfer embargo, you relate it immediately to financial doping, or something along the lines of finances, and they're doing something where they're spending too much money, right? It's not that at all for us. As they stated, and we have to believe the club. They can't lie to us. If they lie to us in a situation, then good luck trying to resolve that. I don't think they're lying. They got no reason to. Stating that, in their own words, that they made a decision in November to change their auditors, our club auditors, and the transition has taken longer than we anticipated, and that they can confirm that they provided all draft accounts and financial information to the EFL and continue to have a regular dialogue, and simply stating that they believe that this will be resolved in a matter of weeks, a matter of, before end of the year, even if it takes longer, because this is all legal speak, right? So the club has no say in how fast it is. It's all done by the books. So, and maybe in English football, maybe things may take a bit longer than what you really need, because that's just how football is sometimes, right? So EFL, under the books, they've got to give us an embargo, because I believe that we just simply are not able to publish or show them papers on time. So they have to do it by the books. But yeah, I don't really care about it, really. I kind of just read it and thought, oh no. Anyway, just move on. What's your take on it?
When I heard it, when you see the headline, you think, oh shit. Like, you think this is honestly, like, obviously we all know we made 70 million quid in the summer, but even for Burnley fans, like, we also have to have a level of like appreciation for how much Alan Pace has backed Vincent Kompany. Even to the point where when you see the headline, you think, no, this isn't like Benson's transfer or something, is it? This isn't like Lyle Foster's 7 million stretching to 10 mil transfer. Something's gone wrong. As soon as you read it, it's rightfully so. It's a rookie mistake and should not happen by any stretch at all. But when you do read it, yeah, it's a non-story, really. It's not something to worry about. The only thing, like you've said there, like, it says in a matter of weeks they hope to have it done. Things take longer sometimes. I don't want it to stretch into June. I don't want other clubs having the pick of Jordan Bayer. I don't want other clubs having the
I don't
pick.
think it matters. If it's an EFL embargo, I don't know how long an EFL embargo, when do we classify as a Premier League club? Like, is it 1st of June, maybe?
Because I don't know the ins and outs of that type of thing. I don't know because if logic was involved, you'd almost say that if a club has an embargo with the EFL, well, no, actually, because now I'm thinking about it, you could say that either way would make sense, really, wouldn't it? If you've got an embargo in the EFL and it lasts a certain amount of time and you go into the Premier League, it should still happen. But technically, they're a separate company ran by totally different people. So when you do move up, surely that would.
That's the thought. That's,
yeah.
Say even if it does continue on, so then I'm pretty sure it won't matter in that situation. Either way, I doubt it will even get to that stage, as
I hope not. Yeah,
it's not like a financial situation that we've spent too much money or anything's been dodgy. It's simply that we have changed our auditors by what the club has said in our continued efforts to improve and move forward Burnley Football Club, because a lot has changed at our club financially. And as we've seen over the weekend, investment seems to be a very appealing thing. Burnley are a very appealing football club for many people, especially over in America, if they want to invest in football over in England. Burnley is the place to invest in right now, because we've got such a high ceiling. We don't just play attractive football, so fans will want to watch us. We've not just got a goddamn Premier League Hall of Famer as our manager as well, but we have still, we're guaranteed in Premier League, so they can buy in early now, and then they can see the likes of Fulham, see the likes of Brentford, see the likes of Brighton, and think, okay, you can do that. Okay, Alan Pace will go and sell them a dream almost, and they will show them a proof of what we've done and the progress we've made. And we've got JJ Watts, who's a NFL legend, I believe. I don't know too much about NFL, but there's been multiple American stars in NBA and NFL who have invested in club. I think back in 2021, we had an NBA investor. When I get his full name here, let's have a quick little look here. It's a man that is called Malcolm Jenkins, who is a minority investor in the club. So he's got a minority stake in the club, which, that's what you want, right? The main reason why we didn't kick on and improve in the Premier League when we had Dyche, when we came 7th and we got into Europe, is that we simply did not have the investment, because who's going to invest in Burnley when we always kind of looked like we were always up against the odds. You know what I mean? There were so many more attractive clubs to invest in compared to us. And we are in a different boat right now, it seems. So what do you, simply just how do you feel the news of these potential investors come to Burnley?
Oh, JJ Watt putting a tweet out about having a Benny and hot is
Yeah, I like that.
It's ridiculous. I'm honestly like I've only recently started following the NFL, and I got into it properly this season. JJ Watt's huge in America. Like he's one of the best defensive ends that the league's seen over the last decade. He's brilliant. I think he's just retired. He was at the Atlanta Falcons and he's just retired. To see him taking photos in Burnley is mad, isn't it? And it almost feels like we are now part of this never ending jigsaw where things just seem to be coming in and fitting for us. And I can't thank Alan Payne. Obviously, this situation with the transfer embargo is a non-starter, but it is still very rookie from the club to have been put in this situation. But you can't thank Alan Pace enough for what he's done. He has revitalised the club that for a long time us Burnley fans may have thought, where's the direction? Where are we going? When are we going to look overseas? When are we going to dip into the European market? When are we going to join in with the £20 million transfer fees? When are we going to see us pay £70 million? When are we going to see us, have an attractive style of play? When are we going to see all these really positive changes? And, in the last 6 months, I've seen one of the best footballing turnarounds as by opinion. Like, we went from a club that played hoofball, nobody wanted to watch. You could name the same starting 11 every week, as bench was crap every single week. You'd have 15 right backs, 7 goalkeepers, and
18 youth kids,
and
then just Mate Vidra, because he's always on the bench.
Who for some reason seemed to get like 4 minutes every game, like regardless of who we were playing and how, if we needed a goal, 4 minutes every game. Now we've got Anas Sareri, Manuel Benson, Michael Obafemi. We've got 4 striking options. We've got Rolls Royce defenders. We've got a fullback who is incredible at getting forward. The other one creating chances left, right, and centre. A goalkeeper taking the piss. A midfield general in Josh Cullen. Brownhill, obviously, I know he's got injured now, but Brownhill playing some of the best football of his career. And this is all testament to Alan Pace not digging his heels in and thinking, I've backed the wrong Premier League team here. He's thought, I've got a project. I want a manager that fits it. I want to revitalise the stadium. I want the fans to be excited. I want the fans to be happy to come to the turf, happy to buy away. We sell tickets left, right, and centre. We sell out for everything. We've sold out for City in the quarterfinal. This is one of the best positions the club has been in for a long time. I'm drinking it in, week out.
You said City as well. We sold 7,802 tickets for City away, which of course it's local enough. It's like an hour drive, and it's it's an FA Cup quarter final. But we've been battered 5-0 so many times that I wouldn't even go. I think I'm bad luck. I'm not going, mainly because I'm going to England quite a lot in April, so I feel like it'd be unfair to my missus if I keep going. But also, I've gone there, I think, 3 times, seen us lose 5-0, that I think I'm the problem. So I'm just not going to bother. And hopefully me not going can bring some good luck. But also in terms of sellouts, Cardiff away. It's just not Cardiff. It's Cardiff at home. Last day of the year. It's happening in 2 months' time. It's already sold out. Because we already know we're going to win the league. Everyone wants a ticket to make sure we're there when we win the title and lift it in front of our home fans. It's already sold out. I think I saw someone do a tweet about it like last week, and I was like, shit, okay. And I went on a rush and I bought a ticket just in case. I think I've already got one, but I bought one, and again, just in case, just to make sure that I've got one in. It's just immense to support this year. Sellouts for Wigan and Huddersfield at home. even if you're doing well, I don't think we did that in the championship back in 15-16. In 15-16, I think we sold out Borough at home. I think it was the second or third last home game of the year. Of course, Bastards, of course. I think other than that, that's all we sold out in that year, at home anyway. So the attractive football speaks for itself. And yeah, in terms of the transfer embargo, again, as I said earlier, I think it's a non-starter. Don't worry about it. And it does kind of annoy me when I see some big accounts or just generic football accounts say transfer embargo, boom, and don't give any context whatsoever. So people are like, oh, Burnley doing something dodgy, buying a league, and it's like we changed auditors.
It's a couple of bits of paper haven't been signed off by 12 o'clock on a certain day, and this has happened. Like you say, these big accounts just obviously they have to make a story. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh God, they're horrible. They have to make a story, but at least give the context. There's not don't worry if you're a Burnley fan and you've come over and you are listening to this and you are thinking, oh, what? Just don't worry. We are also not in a position, me, Liam, or anybody, we don't know anything that goes on with the running of a football club or how the logistics work. We're going off of the transparency of the club, which again is amazing. Mike Garlick, I don't think he said a word to the fans for years. At least our owner now is saying, listen, this has happened. We want to tell you why. We want to tell you not to worry. So you can sleep easy at night as a Burnley fan and carry on enjoying HMS Pistol League. So,
HMS Pistol League.
Just enjoy it.
Absolutely glorious. I know that we're talking earlier about the previous years and kind of what we went through, but I just need to remind you guys, 2021, our transfer arrivals was Dale Stephens for €1.1 million and Will Norris for a undisclosed sum, which probably was like 400 grand. And that was it. We had it bad. And we still stayed up that year. Which is crazy. And Saif Gaming in chat says a question which I think, thanks for reminding me. I want to say this, but I want to speak about this earlier. Because Burnley put out a tweet, I think yesterday, speaking about loan watch. And he spoke about the likes of, I think, Phillips is away on loan right now. Darrell Costello, Bobby Thomas. And he spoke about, our loan players, how Costello's doing, how Bobby Thomas is doing, right? They always leave out Wout Weghorst, who you thought, if you've got a loan player playing and scoring a goal for Manchester United, you're going to talk about it, but we just don't seem to mention him whatsoever, right? So that's interesting. The Wout Weghorst, a dilemma, I guess you could say. Next year, we're probably thinking of maybe bringing a striker just to add more depth, some more quality. Have we already got our striker for next year as well? Or can you just not see it work out?
A
simple answer is no, by the way.
Yeah,
there's no way. The man is fueled by ego. I think we've all seen that. We all know that. I cannot see him go from not only Besiktas, but to go for Manchester United and then drop down to Burnley, which, I know that we all love Burnley and we're a big club in our eyes, but come on, it's Manchester United. Let's not take the piss here, right? So
that's the thing.
I think it's going to hurt him mentally to take that step down. And I think it sounds really petty, but I think even dumb things like Instagram likes, he's going to go from having 300, 200,000 likes per post to going and getting 20. That sounds really dumb, but in this modern era, I genuinely think that matters to him that much.
I think my opinion on it has changed a lot over the season. When he was at Besiktas, honestly, without a shadow of a doubt, I'd take him back. He played in a system that starved a striker of opportunities in a football match. So, also, he's not unbelievable in the air, but if you're not going to give him an opportunity to even challenge or have a chance on goal, you are going to sit there and think, bleeding hell, why would I? Why would I come back? Then you have the situation where he starts doing okay for Besiktas. You start to think, okay, in my opinion, Besiktas aren't exactly levels above us when it comes to terms, talking football terms. I'd like to think the word.
Yeah, I was going to say, Besiktas is it's like gods in Turkey, though. It's different in that world, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's in Turkey. that's like us saying like we think that we're one of the biggest clubs in the Championship because we're in the Championship. Like
Yeah, but
when
that's
we're in
not
the
the best
Premier
clubs in
League,
the country, though, is it?
no, it isn't. But like when it comes to Besiktas, it's like and again, everybody has a big club in their country. And signing for Besiktas again at the time was a big thing, and obviously the European powerhouse and stuff like that. We've had a lot of recent success in the last decade where we've been a Premier League club and we've had a lot of exposure to a lot of American fans, things like that. Obviously, I'm not trying to say that we're bigger than Besiktas, but what I mean is the bridge between Besiktas and us is considerably smaller than the bridge between Manchester United and Burnley. And the thing that I want to say on the Man United situation is Weghorst at Besiktas, I take him back. He's a good player. There is a player in there. You can see why Erik ten Hag plays him every week. He works his ass off in every game. He's been very unlucky in front of goal not to have a couple more goals, and he does. All you need to do is look at how much it means for him to score for Man United, to realise that he's not coming back to Burnley, because the emotion on his face scoring in front of the Stretford end at Man United at Old Trafford in a Europa League game, like you said, to come back for us would be a little bit like of a crash back to reality type thing. I think
I'd be surprised, to say the least.
I think he stays at United, and I also think but the price goes up. I think we get back the money that we paid for him. It should they want to keep him permanently, but having that exposure at Man United as well, also a lot of people will look at him and say, "Oh, he's not done awful. Like we could pay 13 million quid and bring Wout Weghorst into us." So yeah, I think it works for both parties. Personally, him leaving.
Yeah, I like to think that because of him being at United, hopefully your teammates see him just playing for them and think, okay, 15 mil. I think we spent 12.5 on him. Sure, we get break even, bit of a bonus. Everyone wins. Again, I need to reiterate this: if he comes back on loan, if company rates him, if he thinks that Wout Weghorst will be down for the team, he'll play for the badge and be part of the team the way that we're used to this year. If company backs him, I'll back him too. Yeah. I think Weghorst is a good player. Totally agree. Just don't know. I think Weghorst plays without Weghorst, and he plays for himself and not the club. That's just the way that I see him. But he's a great player in my mind, even though he's got some strange sickness to running a ball in the air, which I've never seen from a player who's 6'7". But other than that,
he just doesn't come off of the floor.
Yeah, it's there's too much. He's got I don't know, stones attached to his ankles. Mm-hmm. He just can't jump up in the air. It's quite crazy.
Yeah, literally.
Speaking as well, Saif again said, would you take Maxwell Cornet back next year? I've seen a few tweets about this. I think Jacob Horsfall actually spoke about this, thinking, would we take Cornet back next year? And I'm thinking, is it that that dilemma of never take back an X? Is it that kind of situation of he left us, and we all understood he was never going to play in Championship. He didn't deserve to, right? We all loved it. We knew what the club meant to him, but his injury problems this year, I think he's just started a game. Well, he got subbed on last week and he's not played a game since, I believe, late October, right? So, yeah, with that is a problem. Can I see him in the system? I mean, I don't know. It feels hard to compare because we play a different style of football. If we gave Cornet the freedom as what we give Anas Saruri, would he do better? I don't know. It's tough. Who's better, Maxwell Cornet or Anas Saruri as that left wing role? I think dribbling wise, pace wise, as being a winger, I think it's Anas Saruri. But I think Cornet may have a bit more kind of defensive resilience, a bit more work rate maybe. But I don't know. I'd be open for it if he did bring back Cornet. But I just kind of feel like the injury problems with him, I think, was kind of make a non-starter, really.
I think with regards to Cornet coming back, I think Cornet looked good in a system starved of quality. And he was like a bright spark in that. And I'm not saying that he wouldn't come into this situation and maybe get better because the system would work towards his strengths, his pace, his ability to carry the ball. But for me, we've fallen on our feet with replacements with regards to Manuel Benson, Anas Saruri, Cherlinov after his game against Fleetwood, Scott Twine being able to be interchangeable along, across the kind of front 3-4 even. I think Zaruri gives you a lot more. It's hard to judge players because of divisions, because when you're playing, Cornet did great in the Premier League, but I also did feel that there was more to come from Cornet in a better system. Obviously, then, like you say, he's had the injury problems at West Ham, and we still haven't been able to see that. And obviously, West Ham also aren't exactly playing great at the moment. But I think it's one of them situations where you just say thank you very much for being there at that moment, because it almost felt like the start of the Alan Pace era. We brought in a player from Lyon. We paid £15 million for him, and it felt like this is where the club's going, and it is, and it's been proven.
Yeah,
We've bought Benson, and here we are with arguably better players that fit the system. Inverted wingers, people that like to carry the ball, cut inside, or go on the outside. Don't care whether they score or assist as long as they're involved. And I love players like that, and that's why every Burnley fan has taken to those two. Absolutely.
Yeah, everyone would take back Cornet, I think, but by their heart, but by thinking where would he be in the system, I think we got so much love for Zaruri and Benson, and even Teller that you're thinking, I don't know where would he play as a 10? I don't know. It's tough, and maybe I guess it's the comparison of will Zaruri be this good in Premier League? I personally think he will. Yeah. I personally think 100%. That Benson, his dribbling ability to take a man on is incredible, and I think that he can still carry that over in Prem. With maybe a bit of a development period, but I still think these players can get better.
It'll take time, just like it took time this season. It'll take time for a lot of the players to bed themselves into the Premier League. But I really, really, really think that because it's to do with the style of player that we've bought. We've not gone and bought like Gudmundsson, who's very technical. He can bring the ball down and he can pick a pass, but he's not very fast. With Benson and Zaruri, it's almost like a fallback option that I'm not getting round him by turning. I'm not doing well with the ball inside. I'm not doing well with a 1-2. Sod it. I'll just bomb it down the wing and use my pace to get round him. And I think we've fallen massively on our feet with them too, because they are incredible.
And the depth is also fantastic. So again, the weekend, Vitinho being played as a right wing role, does a great job, great energy, and that's what we need him for. And it's just come leaps and bounds yet again. And we've got a game on Wednesday night against Hull away in 2 days' time. Let's get into the preview for this one. Hull, on paper, you think, okay, we can take these on, but they've actually got a pretty good home record. The last time that they've lost in the league at home was before the World Cup. And they lost to Reading, which is a weird one to lose to because they're quite poor away. But yeah, the last time they lost was before the World Cup, 2-1 at home to Reading, and since then they've not lost since. So on paper, it looks like it could be another one of those kind of like Luton away, Millwall away kind of slip-ups. Or not slip-ups, but, it'd be a tougher game than I think some may think it would be. Form-wise, they've only won one in their last 6, which was a win at home against West Bromwich Albion. And I'm going into this thinking, I'm just hoping that we can just come out of this period before the international break with, another win, and we could just completely focus on getting back all of our players who's on the fringes of coming back, like J-Rod, like Benson, like even Howard Bellis as well. And now we can use that period to just give them all the time they need, extra time, and they come back at home against Sunderland fresh as they can be on the bench, be in a team. And yeah, if we could come out with a win here, I'd be absolutely buzzing, because I think that we've passed through this period of a few more injuries, a few more slip-ups. Brown will be taking a knock and he's out now for a couple of weeks. We've dealt with it really well. I think we're 17 games unbeaten, am I correct? Or 16? 16 or 17?
It's one of the two.
I think it's 16. I think it is, which is immense again. And hopefully we can go on and beat the 23 undefeated as well. That'd be great to see. So, Hull away, what's your thoughts going into it?
I've gone from the you know, that period where we won like 9 in a row. I've gone from that we're going to win every game now to every game matters in the situation, because and it sounds really, really stupid, but
I was going to say that matters seems to wouldn't get promoted, because I think that's kind of done, pal. I can't lie.
What I mean is, I don't want to get complacent myself, because and it sounds really stupid, but like if the feel of everything starts to become complacent, you know, even by the club, like, you know, and then the players on the pitch and stuff, like, there is still potential of a slip up. I know it is very, it's not happening, but there is still potential. I mean, and I think the reason why I say it isn't promotion, it's to play this well and not win the title would be devastating. It just would. Like, and I know we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, I think maybe 3 or 4 weeks, 5 weeks ago, where we were saying if we don't win the title, it's still a success. It is. But to be top of the table since like bloody October and not win the title.
We're winning the league, mate.
We are. But I like you said, so you've got to play, you know, kind of devil's advocate in the situation where
I don't care, mate. The odds speak for itself, my guy. I think if I look right now, I think it's 99.6% likely that we get promoted and 99.1% that we win the league.
Yeah, I mean,
like we need to lose at least 5 games to be overtook by. We need to lose 6 games to be overtook by Middlesbrough, and we've lost twice all year.
Yeah,
we lose 6 times in the last 10 games. It's crazy how good we've been, man. It's nuts.
I couldn't have wrote this season going how it has done. So, you know, you have to enjoy it, and you have to, you know, we've sat through a lot of difficult times as Burnley fans. We've gone through a lot together watching games. You know, I remember, like you say, I remember going to City away in third round of FA Cup, and we got them thinking, this could be the time. We lost 5-0. Like, you know, these things. I've gone to these games and dealt with crushing defeats and had great highs watching us beat Liverpool 2-0 at home, beating Tottenham 2-1 at home, you know, winning away at Chelsea 3-2. These amazing moments. This game against Hull will be tough, because I feel like at home they can dig in, but they're digging in against the best team in the Championship, with the best players and the best manager, with arguably the best system. And a lot of times I've come into these games where I've thought this could be a tough game. We've done really, really well. So I would like to think of the position that Hull are in and the form that they're in. Yes, they're difficult to beat at home. We're difficult to beat in general, and we're difficult to get points from in general. So for me, I see a tough win, but like a 3-1.
I would like to put a little stat out here for anyone that's into the bookies. That our last 3 games against Hull has been 1-1, 1-1, and 1-1. And guess when Burnley do draw this year, other than I think 2 times, they've all been 1-1. So if you're a betting man, I think you know what to bet on for Wednesday night. It just seems meant to be. Like if we do draw a game, it seems to always be 1-1, other than I guess Blackpool recently, I guess, which we've not even mentioned that game because it's just like no draw, not much really talk on. I think that we played, I think, like so many midweek weekend games. I think we were just a bit knackered. And when I saw that we had a week break between Blackpool and Wigan, I was just like, okay, thank God, just have a bit of a breather. And then we got Hull, and then we'll also go into City as well, preview that. I'm just happy to have a bit of a break now with the international break. I've never been actually quite grateful for internationals, because even though we've won the league, as pretty much as far as we're concerned, I want to crack on. I want to end off on a high. I want to get at least 100 points. If it's 106, amazing, fantastic. But I want to hit at least 3 digits. That's the least that I expect from this team, which I think is more than possible, right? So, yeah, for this game, for my prediction, I think that it'll be a tough one, and I must say I don't know. I want to go with a 2-0. I'll go 2-0. I don't think they'll score, because I think defensively we're just really good. So I'll go 2-0.
Yeah, mine's a 3-1, just because I think Estepinian is a clinical striker. I think I know he was a lot better at the start of the season. I feel like he dropped off a little bit in between, but I still think he's got a fair amount of goals. And I think they're a weird team because they came to the turf and it was a game where, again, I say it all the time, but there was a brief period where we just couldn't seem to get a win.
Yeah.
And we seem to be playing those teams again and coming back to those games. And like, you know, like when you've played like Liverpool again in the past and like you come into the game and you think, like, it's start of a new season. You played them twice last season. We beat them 1-0 and then we lost 3-0. You go into it and you think, there's every possibility we can win. When we've played Hull, because there's been so many draws, you almost go into the game and you're like, I have no idea how this could go. Like, we could go and batter them like we have done a lot of teams this season, or it could be really, really, really difficult to get a positive 3-point result for us. But I just think we are that good. I think that, you know, even before you get into the squad depth and the players you can bring off the bench, like the starting 11 is embarrassingly good. Like, you know, when you've got Zaruri and you've got Teller and you've got all these different areas in which we can score from and different players that can create from different positions, we are such a hard team to get points against. And I can just see us just outplaying them.
And to compare that team that played against Hull, you know, all the way back in August, you know, we were still starting, you know, Samuel Bastian as a left winger.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
David
Costello was still a starter in the game before that, right? Mm-hmm. And he was on the bench. Coutinho was our right winger in that game as well. So the team it's a different team, you know, in terms of not just the players, but just how we play since back then. So yeah, I think that we should be able to get the 3 points in this game. And before I go into City, a little topic that I've seen a lot online in recent hours is speaking about the allocation for Blackburn away for what's coming up, of course, 25th of April. And apparently there's some rumours that Blackburn are unwilling to give us the full allocation, which I think is around 6,000, 7,000 for the entire Darwin end, I believe. And they are thinking about giving us just the upper tier. That's like 2,300. That's also limited as well because of, I think it's just pure petulance. I think they just don't want to just give us the full amount because they don't want us to outnumber them or to, I don't know, embarrass them. I don't know. But there's been a lot of feedback and back and forth from the Lancashire police force with Burnley and Blackburn to get the best outcome because they are quite fearful that if we, let's say, get a limited allocation, Burnley fans will still go to the game anyway without having a ticket just for the experience, right? So you may have a situation where there'd be Burnley fans outside Eadwood and they'll not go to the game. And where are they going to go? To a pub probably. And there's going to be some problems with the Lancashire police force. So I think it's not been fully confirmed what the allocation would be, but there's a lot of rumors saying that we may get limited for just them kind of just being kind of petulant. So I hope that does get resolved in the right way very soon.
Yeah. Just, you know, without trying to sound, you know, just pathetic football club. Like, you know, it's just, you know,
I don't want to sound pathetic.
I said that and then realized that I was going to sound like it, but like just pathetic football club. Like, you know, whether or not we're doing well or whether or not we're doing shit, they still hate us regardless. So when we were in the Premier League and they were in the Championship, like, you know, they still hated us. Just give us a full allocation. Don't be weird about it. It's just a really weird flex to be like, oh, you're going to win the league, but we're not going to give you allocation. Get a grip, honestly. Just bring people.
Grow up.
Just bring people. Allow all the Burnley fans to go to the game. Don't create any issues, and just let everybody be happy. We're going to win the league regardless. We could win it. We can't win it at your ground anymore. I hope that we've won the title before that, so we can lift the trophy, and we don't even celebrate to the Burnley fans. We just show you lot how good we are.
I don't think we're lifting the trophy there, to be fair. I think
there's no way.
But the God of Honor is definitely something that's been spoken of as well about us. Apparently, it's Alan Nitson, so 50-50 on how accurate it is. But it's still funny to think about the fact that we will be requesting a God of Honor if we do win it prior to that game, which is more than possible. I think we put it in the third last game of the year. So it's very likely. So that would be funny because they're never going to do it. Like, they're never going to give us a God of Honor. But it's still kind of funny knowing that they could, and he's still out of their own. I mean, I don't blame them. We would do the same, right? If some imaginary, unlikely universe, they somehow win a title somehow ahead of us. If they gave us the option to do God of Honor, we'll say piss off, right? So I get it completely.
If I was a Burnley fan at the game and I saw him giving a guard of honour, I'd be devastated.
Exactly.
Like,
so I get it, right?
With the guard of honour, that's that side of it. Totally agree with. Like, you know, if you don't want to give us a guard of honour, like, don't. I'm not bothered. Like, you know, you not giving us a guard of honour doesn't mean like, oh, no way. We've won the league, but they didn't give it. Like, we've won the league. Like, we've been in the Premier League. Like, you guys are, you know, scraping to get out of Championship again. Like, arguably with your best striker you've had for decades and all this crap, and you still a nothing club with a goal difference of 0. Like, I
hope this doesn't end up on Rover's Twitter.
The thing is, like, because I don't have a lot of positive things to say about him, just because I just think that like when it comes to the whole rivalry side of things, like, I just feel like, obviously there's a subsection of every football team that I just have bad fans, but I have so many bad experiences with Blackburn fans in general, just in every stretch of life, that I just it's bought life out of me. And as a club, like, our rivalries more deep rooted than a lot of people in English football even realise.
I do like to say that almost every single fan base thinks that their rivalry is the deep rooted and people don't understand. So, like, I spoke to like a Palace fan, and they were trying to tell me that Palace Brighton is like the best derby because of this reason. And like, I think it's actually a better derby than some people like to say it is. But like, even still, everyone thinks that their derby is the derby. I saw Norwich fans saying that Norwich Ipswich is the derby. You know what I mean? It's like, come on.
It's like when it comes to Blackburn, it's like they've done their thing in the past and stuff like that. And you know what? Like, when I say that about, like, you know, I'm not saying every Blackburn fan's horrible. Like, you know, there will probably be a fair majority of them that are actually all right, and you could sit there and have a conversation between the two, and, you know, there'd be snide little jokes about each club, but there's not hate there, because I don't think that's how football should be. Obviously, you know, good, honest rivalries are part of the English footballing pyramid, and they should be protected. These rivalries are a big part of why English football is so good, but it doesn't need to boil over into like silly things like the whole, you know, situation of the tickets. It's like, it's just silly. It's just really silly. Like, just give us a full allocation. Like, it's just weird, isn't it? Like,
yeah. So to end off this topic, bastards, if you really want to stop us with a full allocation, charge us 50 quid if you want. Charge us £100 if you want. We'll still pay it. To fill out that, to get 7,000 clarets in that away end, we'll pay it. If you charge us £1, we'll pay whatever you want to see that day, because that'll be a marvelous, marvelous experience. So if you really want to stop us or to make it hurt for us, sure, charge you 100. We'll still pay it. We'll still fill it out. So yeah, that's the end of that one. That's the solution to all the problems.
Yeah.
So to end it off, the FA Cup in 5 days' time at the Etihad. The dream. Are you going?
No, I couldn't manage to get a ticket, but it's all. I think I'm working that day anyway. So,
can we dream?
Yeah, I think we can.
That's the most unconvincing.
There was no conviction in what was. No, I think I can't contradict myself going back over, you know, talking about Hull's results and how we come into games, and, you know, you can be like, oh, we drew 1-1 when we've played Liverpool, we've beat them in the past. The last time we beat City, George Boyd scored. Like, that's how. And
what a day that was.
It was unreal to be a part of that. But that's the last time we beat them. We played like 7 games and conceded 36 goals to 0. Like,
that's so.
It's terrible, isn't it? But so, like, when you put it like that, the chances of us beating City is a lot lower than it would be for any of the other teams in the competition. But the occasion's still there. It's a quarter-final of the FA Cup. We're playing as well as we are. Dare to dream. Have a go. See what happens.
Dare to dream. I remember I was talking to my brother, and he was there for the 3-3 back in 2009. And that was a mad game. And I was thinking that maybe that could happen again.
Yeah,
maybe get a game like that. You never know.
It was an unreal game to be at that. Even as a nipper, that were unreal.
You were there at that one as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gutted that my brother didn't take me to many games and like away games back in that period. I think I would have been like 11. So I get it. He would have wanted to go with his mates and I not take his little brother. But
Yeah,
God damn it, Ashley, come on, sort yourself out. I'm trying to look up here quickly. When was the last time we beat City at the Etihad? Oh no, actually, it wouldn't even been the Etihad. It would have been Main Road. So when's the last time we beat City at their own ground? And it dates all the way back to. Do we count the FA Charity Shield?
If you want to, yeah.
Well, not counting that, the last time we beat them in the cup or any sort of league format was 1963.
So
Five
dare to dream.
win.
Dare to dream. This is what I'm saying. It's written in the stars.
We beat them in 1973 in the FA Charity Shield 1-0. So if you want to count any win against them at Main Road or their ground, it would have been all the way back. So 5 decades, 50 years.
It's still a long time ago, regardless of how you paint it. It's still ages ago we beat them on their own turf.
It's going to be, I mean, I'm just happy that we can have a bit of time period, just kind of like rest the players. I'm looking forward to it. I think we'll come back and we've got some big games. We've got Sunderland at home, then we've got Borough away, and then Sheffield United at home. And we can have a big say in terms of the top 2 fight because, we're far ahead. We're clear. We're fine, man. We're laughing. So we can probably screw over Sheffield United. I would enjoy that. I would enjoy that very nice because I keep on seeing 5-2 in my tweets to this day. And I'm like, bro, you lost to Rotherham like 3 days afterwards. You got the same points. You got the same points, man. You beat us 5-2. Okay, cool. But you lost to Rotherham, so it meant nothing.
But I still think Borough deserve it. Anyway, Michael Carrick's doing an incredible job. Like, they've got the league's leading marksman. They've got good players. He's got them playing good football.
Good football.
He deserves the accolades and automatic promotion in the situation that they were in. I mean, I'm not being funny, but that sounds a lot better than a club that, is falling away from what they were.
Yeah, it's tough, really, because with Sheffield United, it's kind of like they remind us of Burnley of old, almost kind of like very physical, structured, reliant on set pieces and big men up top with a few little bits of quality. So like our version of like Andre Gray is like they're Iliman and Jai, for example, and they've got Sam Vokes we've got Sam Vokes when they've got, McBurney, you know what I mean? Yeah. So they're not as attractive or exciting, I guess you could say.
Well, there's a fun fact for you. Ollie McBurney went to my school.
Really?
He was in my school in Leeds when I was in school, and his brother was in my year.
Fact of the day. There you go, boys. I didn't know that. Blood Crew said in the chat saying, remember we beat Chelsea in the Cup back in 2009. So yeah, that's Dare to Dream. Dare to Dream. Speaking of Dare to Dream, remember that song that we put out back in like 2009, the Dare to Dream song?
Oh, it rings a bell, but
like Burnley Football Club. Your ground will never give up. Get down the turf, support the boys. Make sure that you mix. I remember it. So I could probably give you the entire verse and the bridge of it if you want. Like, I remember just blasting on my YouTube on whatever PC my family had when I was like 10. You know what I mean? But
underrated Burnley banger.
I honestly, the fact that we've completely forgot about that, like that's somewhere in the archives, deep down somewhere. I remember one final question, because we could dare to dream for City, right? We'll do our full prediction for that in the next preview, I believe on Friday. Have you ever owned a half and half scarf?
Yes.
I've already got one ever.
I can grab mine as well.
Okay, let's go show a half and half scarf.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if. Oh, there we go. This is a bit weird. Also,
wait. Imagine if we both have this. There's a good chance because of our age, we could both have the same one.
There is absolutely no way.
Okay, never mind. Mine's got a good chance.
Right,
so
you go
just
first.
Give some context. Half and half scarves, I think, is completely fine if you're at like a young age and it's like a big game, right? So I get it. If you're like a young kid with half and half scarf, fine, feel free. If you're like 23, grow up. Okay, simple as that. but even still, if you're like that 25, it's like a big game. Like if let's say we end up in the FA Cup semi-final, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yeah, I'm buying a half.
Yeah, I'm buying a half and half scarf. I don't care.
I'm buying a half and half scarf. Show yours first.
Right. So mine isn't a Burnley scarf, right? But my dad went to the Super Cup in 2009 or 2010, and he got a Man United and Zenit St. Petersburg half and half scarf.
Oh, come on, this is a Burnley podcast. And you show me a Man United v FC Zenit Super Cup half and half scarf?
The weird thing about it is I found this yesterday. I don't have a Burnley half and half, but this is the best one I've got.
I was expecting like, Burnley v, I don't know, like Liverpool, I don't know, or like a Europa League half and half scarf. I wasn't thinking like Man United v Zenit in 08.
You said, have you ever owned a half and half scarf? This is the weirdest one I've ever had.
I thought when saying that, I thought it'd be quite obvious that I was anticipating that it'd be a Burnley half and half scarf.
I sincerely apologise letting you down.
Oh, you really you let us all down, man. Well, mine is when I was 10, of course. I've kept this since day one. This one right here.
Oh yeah.
For people that's on audio, it is a Carling Cup semi-final, Tottenham v Burnley half and half scarf from all the way back in 2009, and I've kept this in prime condition since. My camera's died as well because that's just kind of what happens on this podcast, but hopefully the audio's still working. But I've kept this basically with me ever since because I just think it looks pretty cool, honestly. Like I appreciate the moments that it gave me, Robbie Blake, all the boys. And I still, to this day, am very pissed off by a certain Russian striker in Roman Pavlyuchenko. You ruined my childhood, mate. You absolute bellend. So, I hope that you sleep well at night, mate, knowing that you made me and like 1,000 Burnley fans cry and ruin their childhoods at the age of 10. Prick. No, I actually like hurt me because I thought that, that'd be like our one time ever to get to Wembley, the new Wembley. So I guess it was really, really lucky that we ended up going there anyway and winning like 5 months later. So
it's one of those situations where it's like, if you ever came like into contact with Roman Pavlyuchenko, he would not think a thing about it. He wouldn't even, I bet he sleeps lovely at night. And we would just be all sat there saying,
yeah, he has no idea.
Look what you did. Look what you've done. Look at what you did to my childhood. You made a kid cry.
And he's just there, just like, I don't know who you are.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's like, why are you shouting at me?
And also, I don't understand English. What do you mean? I got Johnny the Great in chat saying, look at my messages above. To end off, saying that he thinks that we'll beat City 2-1 with a coloured red card for breaking Haaland's legs. If you can win 2-1 with 10 minutes, Etihad, then I'll give you everything I own at that stage. That'd be incredible.
Don't break Haaland's leg. He's in my fantasy team, so
same. Yeah. Actually, no, I've just took him out actually because there's double game week and he's not playing this next week. So true. Yeah, I'm taking FM way too serious. I will be doing an FM league properly next year because there's no point starting a league now. No. So if you're down for that, then feel free and tweet at me and we can get that goal for next year. Sam, absolute pleasure, man. I appreciate you coming on, especially on short notice. Absolute just great experience talking about the Clarets, and we got Hull in 2 days' time. Hopefully win that, and we'll be God knows how many points. I think we play Hull away, and Sheffield United, they play a decent team too. They play they play Sunderland away. So there's a chance that we can go into the international break being 16 points cleared top of the league.
It'd be incredible, wouldn't it? It really would.
Jesus,
it's already incredible, but like you almost think like, how can things get better? And this team keeps doing it to us. I'm absolutely loving it. I really am.
And we absolutely should. While it's still happening.
Yeah.
Score prediction: City. I said 2-0, and Sam, you said 3-1. Oh no, that's Hull. Sorry,
3-1 for Hull.
God, sorry, Sam. That's
City City's a weird one, isn't it, really? I mean,
City 0-0 win on pens. Let's go, boys.
I'd take it. But for me, I think a resilient Burnley team, we get beat like 4-2.
I think we'll score first, and I think they'll come back in it, and I think it'll be 2-1 City. In my head, I think we'll score first. I actually think that we can maybe like give them a scare.
Yeah.
Similar to what we did back in, I think, 2017-18, that we also played City in the FA Cup. We scored first. We won 1-0 at half time, and I think we lost 4-1, right?
Yeah.
So I think it could be something similar then. So, yeah. Let's end it before it keeps going.
Yeah.
Sam, thank you, man. We may get you back on actually on Friday as well, because I think that you're good to talk to. So
Sweet. Love that.
I appreciate it. Thank you for coming on and listening to the podcast and alongside. If you're on YouTube, then feel free and subscribe, and also drop it a like. And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and also give it a nice little follow. And we'll see you very soon. Peace out.